Foster care can mean so many things to so many people, but for up to 200 pets a month waiting for a forever home, it can mean the world. A local nonprofit is in need of foster families. Being a foster care provider can be a very rewarding experience for all involved. The story on how you can help is coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Ariel Schiller, and today we're here with Connie Johnson, Safety Net Foster Care Manager of SPCA Florida, Adam Stanfield, Executive Director of the SPCA.
Hello.
And Joe Hendon, Director of Quality Assurance.
Hello.
Welcome to our show. And we also have some furry friends, Timber and Sequoia.
Yay. Aren't they cute?
Yeah. All right, so Adam, can you tell me a little bit about the SPCA and
Sure.
for our viewers who haven't maybe seen the show before?
Absolutely. The SPCA started in 1979, so it's a 36-year-old organization. Had very humble beginnings out of actually it's a classic beginning of doing adoptions out of an individual's garage. Did that for many, many years. Moved up to the parking lot at Publix at Lake Merriam, where we did adoptions for years, and just over time just began to grow and develop. Philanthropy became part of our mix, so we started fundraising and whatnot. And the adoptions turned into wellness clinic, spay-neuter clinic, and now we have a compound over on Brandon Road South, which is 11 acres. Multiple buildings. We have a adoption center that adopts out last year 4,000 animals, which we are very, very proud of. Foster care is a big support of that. And then we also have a full-service veterinary practice on site as well, which we do a high volume of spay-neuters, about anywhere between 10 and 12,000 on an annual basis, given the amount of funding that we have available. But we do many, many different things as well from a healthcare perspective.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, I've seen the facility and it's a wonderful place.
Thank you.
Now, we're here to talk a little bit about the foster care program. Can you tell me a little bit about that foster program that you were mentioning a little bit earlier?
Sure. Well, I'll lead it off, but these two are really the focal points. But foster care plays an integral role into the success of SPCA Florida in the sense that any given day we have about 120 animals on site, both through our catteries and then our canine kennels. But we have an equal number of animals in foster care, and that is a program that we have available to us. We rely on the public to help us out with care for the animals. And then as little ones like this become healthy enough and big enough to go through spay-neuter services, then we bring them in and then we put them out on the adoption floor. But Connie, as you said in the opening, is our safety net manager. She's responsible for our foster care. And Joe is actually an employee. She's our director of quality control, but she is a foster family for us. And I think we qualify you as a foster failure as well. Foster failures, which is a big term for us, that we're very excited when we have a foster failure, because that means the animal stays in that home. So Connie will actually be the best one to answer a lot of those questions.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about what the requirements are to be a foster family?
Well, you can go online, and we do have an application online, and it answers some of the questions. But you have to have a stable home. You have to basically provide a home for the animals to live in a family environment, whether it be you or a family, it doesn't matter. But just not so that so that they're not in a kennel environment or shelter environment as they're getting ready for that progression.
Okay, and what's the time frame involved from start to finish?
It's different with every animal. We have fosters that may need overnight, that could need 3 days, that could need a month. It just depends on what the need is for the animal. So if you only have a week, we can probably find something that will work for you.
The needs come and go all the time. We have numerous leads that come to us through our website. It's like individuals, concerned citizens and responsible citizens will take animals that they find out in their public. The classic story about families having cats give birth under their deck. We're getting ready to come into kitten season, and we're going to be hearing stories about that all the time. So, you just never know when it's going to happen. So short term, long term, it's all good.
And is there a cost to be a foster family?
Not to the foster. The cost is ours. We take all the costs that is involved in fostering as far as food, whatever kind of kennel space or litter, whatever it needs in order to get, to the point to where we can take it back is provided for you.
And what are the reasons animals need to be in foster?
There's several different reasons. This is a prime example right here. They're too young. Their mother was actually chained to a tree, and the owners moved and left her there. The neighbors took care of her and noticed that she was getting bigger and bigger and called me, and because I did not want her to deliver a litter in the shelter, we were able to find a foster family that would take her, deliver the puppies, and then when the puppies were old enough, she brought them back to us. And it's a classic example of what a foster can do. Just saved 12 lives.
How long have these two been in foster care?
Joe has had him a little over a week. Because of the holidays, our original foster was going to New York for the holidays, and so she brought them back, and they were old enough that we could pair them up rather than try to get somebody to take all 11, because that's a lot to ask somebody to take 11 puppies. So we paired them up in twos, and then one took 3, and they've all learned how to get along without all the others. It's kind of prepping them for their new home.
One of the things that we've done over the course of the past year is put a lot of structure in place for the foster program. Connie and her staff has done a really, really good job to try to make it as painless and seamless for the foster care provider. So, the health care, we were talking about costs, all the health care is taken care of, and we have it set up on a schedule process where the foster care coordinator who works with Connie makes sure that all of the routine checkups and whatnot are scheduled. So this individual, the foster care provider, and Joe in this sense, would know when her animal needs to come in to be seen by the vet or, next round of treatments for whatever that may be.
For the foster families, what type of support system is in line if needed?
We have a 24-hour line. It's an emergency line. Our foster coordinator carries a phone with her, and it has text or call, whichever. If you find that you're in trouble in the middle of the night or after hours, you always have access to us. We also have a manual that all of our foster families have. It takes you step by step through everything, so you're never really just lost out there. We're always there for you.
Right, that's good to hear. And would that be in the event that an animal gets sick or injured?
Correct, absolutely. Either way, it had both happened today. One got sick and one fell off of a bed and broke its leg.
Yeah.
They had to bring him back immediately, which is fine because we're there and we'll take them. And if it's in the middle of the night, we have partners that we work with that are open 24-hour vets that can care also.
Is there a risk of contagious disease at all with bringing in a foster?
Most of our animals, we have them, they're completely vet tested first. We do have some that have things that are contagious, but we have fosters that are really good at that, and that's their specialty, is contagious disease, and they take those fosters. Like ringworm would be one thing, or it could be, URI. We always suggest that you don't interact with your animals at first,
Right.
until, you're comfortable.
And many, I think as Connie mentioned, many of the individuals are willing to accept animals that have special needs, whether it's a medical condition or whether it's age related. So again, if anybody out there in the public has an interest in helping us with one of those specific segments of the animal population, we'd love to hear from them because
Absolutely.
we need them.
We never
We
have
absolutely need them. Yep.
And I think you were talking a little bit about it earlier, but a foster failure, what if we fall in love with
Right here, this is what it
our...
looks like. Popular.
Very much so.
So what if we fall in love with our foster?
What if you do?
Yeah,
Then
what
they
if you
are
do?
available for adoption.
They are available, yeah. You then go down and see Connie and say, you know what, I can't give this one up. This one, unfortunately, is going to stay with me. And Connie then gives you an application. You fill out pay the adoption fee, and it's yours for life.
Yeah.
I have 3 at home.
It does happen rather routine. Matter of fact, we have one of our surgical techs right now has a foster animal, Hope, which we had a Facebook story on, and it received a lot of attention, and is a little Chihuahua, and her name's Betty, the foster agent, or foster family. Her name, foster provider, my foster mom is Betty, and you could just see it every day. It's like, you know, that attachment goes
Oh, yeah.
stronger. So
Yeah.
she just told me this morning, it's like, well, I think I'm probably going to keep her. So anyway,
I thought she already
yeah,
adopted her.
yeah,
Yeah.
But there's no pressure to keep them.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
not.
So
No.
that's the one
Absolutely
thing that's
not.
important.
No.
People need to understand. It's kind of like a short fix for someone that can't have an animal in their home. Say they travel way too much, or for whatever reason they don't feel that they can provide that responsible home. It's a short fix. So you get to take one for whatever time frame that's good for you, and then we take them back.
Sure. And you know, the needs vary. Like for instance, we mentioned that we're getting into kitten season, and many times what will happen is a mother will give birth, and for some reason the kittens that are, you know, they can't sustain on their own, so they're brought to us, and we have bottle babies. So, you know, we can set the family up, you know, with all the, you know, needs and you know, supplies for feeding the animals throughout the course of the night, and it becomes a very educational process as well.
Exactly.
I had a husky that gave birth right as I came back from my honeymoon, and had 5 huskies, and we had to bottle feed every one of them. So it's a lot for a young family. Teaches them about you know, what they may be getting into with children, and then families with children. You know, certainly teaches the responsible pet ownership as well.
Do you have a lot of families who do foster care?
Absolutely, because they do want their children to see the responsibility that it takes to have a pet. A lot of times, if they're thinking about getting a family pet, they'll foster first so that the children can see what type of responsibility is expected of them. And then the parents can see if the kids are really going to do it or not. That helps them make a decision, and usually they do. They'll either keep what they have, or they'll continue to foster until the right one comes along. And they're not always like this.
Yeah.
I'm
He
not
just
sure.
wants to get down.
I
and
think
play, right?
once
they
in a
just
while,
want to
yes.
play.
Very curious.
So what's been your experience with these two?
Well, very rewarding. Obviously, my children are a little bit older; they're teenagers, but they understand that we do a lot of fostering, and the only way that we can help others out is to give them up.
Right.
Return them back and let them go find a good forever home, because otherwise I'd have a shelter at my house.
We're working on that.
Right?
And where can families, or anyone for that matter, go to find out about the foster program and maybe applying for the foster program?
Either our website, or they can come in, which either we have applications when you first come in that are available right there, or you can go on our website.
Okay, well,
You just
that
wanna go
sounds
look. You wanna
good.
go
Thank you
look
so
around?
much for coming in and talking to us about this.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Noisy.
See.
Bye.
SPCA Florida is always looking for ways to expand their foster program, either by growing the number of foster families, growing the foster program into a virtual shelter, or adopting a new adoption ambassador program offered through a grant program of ASPCA. The programs are short-term and convenient for the person or family interested. All the food and medical care of the animal while in possession of the foster or foster family is taken care of by SPCA Florida. It teaches real-life lessons of responsible pet ownership, addressing the physical needs of viable animal, and prepares one for owning a pet in a non-threatening manner. For more information about how you can help SPCA Florida and their foster program, give them a call at 863-646-7722, or look them up on the web at www.spcaflorida.org.